Hey everyone, and welcome to another World of Warcraft Dragonflight Alpha video. In this video, we're going to be checking out the base level Evoker with no specialization talents or anything like that. Since this is a brand new class, it's definitely going to take more time to look at the abilities and what they do and everything. So we're going to focus on that in this video, and in future videos for the Evoker, we'll break down like the talents and get into more abilities and stuff like that. Since this is a brand new class, there's definitely going to be more testing and things like that done than on some of the other classes. So look forward to more Dracthyr Evoker content. So before we jump into this, I want to let you guys know to please like the video, leave a comment, etc. Let me know that you're enjoying these videos. Let me know if you want to see more content from me post-alpha. I'm using these videos to kind of gauge whether or not that interest is there and whether or not I'll continue to make guide videos and things like that once the expansion is actually out. As of right now, you know, I'd be checking out the alpha anyway, so I'm doing these recordings and putting them out for you guys. But beyond that, I really need to see just, you know, if it's worth making that content for other people. Okay, so at the moment we're spec'd as Devastation, so it's giving us access to Landslide. We're gonna check and see what we get access to as Preservation, which is the healing spec. So that's going to give us Expunge. Okay. So we would have to invest a point into Landslide or a point into Expunge. For right now, we're going to stick to the kind of damage side here. And we're not really going to look at the stuff that we get from the different specs anyway. Okay, so we're going to start by getting into our spellbook here with the base level Evoker. That's what we're looking at now. And let's take a look actually first up here in the general and see what we have. So we got some racials. Chosen Identity. Activate to automatically assume your visage when you leave combat or after soaring. Okay, so visage is what I have right now. I believe. Like my human looking form. Then we have Glide, so we can glide like a demon hunter. We have Soar, which shoots us into the air. And the cooldown begins when we land. We have Tail Swipe, which is a 1.5 minute cooldown where we lash out with our tail, knocking enemies within 6 yards into the air. So a little crowd control ability there. We'll put Soar kind of over here for right now. Alright, so then we have our Visage. Switch between your Dracthyr and Visage form. Visage puts your party at ease, significantly increasing out-of-combat health regeneration. Oh, interesting. So there's a reason to switch back and forth. Okay, so then we can activate Chosen Identity to automatically switch. Just in case you guys want to see the dragon form. This is the one I made. Right. So now if we do Chosen Identity, when we leave combat, we should switch back. We have Wing Buffet. 1.5 minute cooldown with a powerful flap of your wings. Knock away enemies in front of you. So we got some nice little just CCs here. Awakened increases your mastery by 2.5%. Discerning Eye increases your perception by 50%. Perception increases the radius of tracking mining and herbalism nodes, and the chance of finding additional rare materials when gathering. Okay, that's interesting. Then we have Familiar Skies. You fly 20% faster on continents that you have fully explored. Okay, good for farming. And then we have Principles of Soaring. While soaring through the air, pointing yourself towards any given direction sends you in that direction. Pointing yourself downwards grants more momentum. Evening out can transfer that momentum forward. Pointing yourself upwards slows you down. When at your slowest, you will start to fall slowly towards the ground, forward and down. You also gain access to the following abilities: Surge Forward, Flap forward a short distance, gaining speed, and Skyward Ascent. Flap upward, gaining height at the cost of some momentum. So all of our flying stuff is in there. Okay. Now let's get into the actual evoker stuff here. So we are pulling spells from the different Dragonflights. So I think maybe that'll be a cool way to approach this. So let's start with the blue Dragonflight. We have Azure Strike. Project intense energy onto 2 enemies, dealing spell frost damage to them. Okay. And we have Disintegrate. Tear into an enemy with a blast of blue magic, inflicting spell frost damage over 2.6 seconds, slowing their movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. All right. Bronze, we have Blessing of the Bronze. 15-second cooldown. Weave the threads of time, reducing the cooldown of a major movement ability for all party and raid members by 15% for 1 hour. Oh. Okay. Does that work right now? Will it reduce the cooldown of, like, Soar? I'm not sure which one it... Cooldown of Hover was reduced by 15%. So can we cast this again to try to get a different one? It reduced Hover. Okay. So Hover, launch yourself and gain 30% increased movement speed for 6 seconds. Allows Evoker spells to be cast while moving. Does not affect empowered spells. Alright. We also have Return. Okay, so this is our Resurrection. Brings a dead party member back to life. Alright, so pretty standard resurrection stuff. Okay, then we have Black Dragon, Deep Breath, 2-minute cooldown. Take a deep breath and fly to the targeted location, spewing molten cinders, dealing volcanic damage to enemies in your path. You're immune to movement impairing and loss of control effects while flying. Okay, so that's a cooldown. And then we have Landslides. So remember, we're getting this one from the talent. We may not necessarily have this one by default, so for right now, we're going to skip it. For green, we have Emerald Blossom, 30-second cooldown. Grow a bulb from the Emerald Dream at an ally's location. After 2 seconds, heal up to 3 injured allies within 10 yards for 3,000. So that's a healing spell. And then we have our red dragon abilities, Fire Breath. So inhale, stoking your inner flame, release to exhale, burning enemies in a cone in front of you. For 1,700 fire damage, deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. So at stage 1, it does 1,000, stage 2 does 2,000, and stage 3 does 3,000 over 4, 8, and 12 seconds. So basically, if something's going to be alive long enough for the 3-second charge thing there, or sorry, the 12-second duration of the 3,000 damage, then you can power it up. Otherwise, you probably shouldn't worry about it. And then we have Living Flame. Send a flickering flame towards your target, dealing fire damage on an enemy or healing an ally. So this is a hybrid. Okay, so let's go look at these real quick. It's not a whole lot that we have by default, but that seems to be kind of the trend here. Okay, so we have our Emerald Blossom. So that's going to go on us, and then it pulses out for a heal. We have our Deep Breath. Okay. That's super cool. Big fan of that. That's pretty awesome. Oh, we're out of combat, so we switch back to our human form. Man, I want this available on Organs. Okay, so then we have Living Flame. So we cast, and it does damage, or can cast it on a friendly target, and it will heal. We've got Fire Breath. So with Fire Breath, you can charge it up to 3 stages. We've got our Disintegrate. which is a beam that slows the target. And then we have Azure Strike, which will hit 2 targets. Now, something we haven't talked about is our resource system here, which is this Essence. As far as I can tell, Essence just automatically recharges. All right, so if we use our Flame Blast, which it looks like we can't, Fire Breath. Looks like we have to hold it down. All right, so that didn't cost any. So it's Disintegrate is the only thing we have that costs Essence right now. You can see, like, it just automatically regens. Those spell effects look awesome. They do. They look awesome. So, that's pretty cool. It's still hover. That makes me sad. Okay, so that's all we have by default. So let's look at what we can get from the class side of the tree. So this is the Evoker section. So no matter what specialization you're playing as, you can get everything on this side. So we're gonna dive into this. This is gonna get a little deep. We're gonna look at the active abilities we have first, and then it looks like we only have one choice over here. So we'll check out our choices, and then we'll check out our passives. So we have Landslide, 1.5 minute cooldown, instant cast ability. Conjures a path of shifting stone towards the target location, rooting enemies for 30 seconds. Damage can cancel the effect. So we have a CC. Obsidian Scales, 2.5 minute cooldown, reinforce your scales, increasing your armor and reducing magic damage taken. Okay, so a defensive. So we have a CC, a defense, and then we have Expunge. Expunge toxins affecting an ally, removing all poison effects. So then we have a healing utility spell. Rescue. Fly to an ally and heal them for a nice chunk of health, actually. 24-second cooldown, 25-yard range. All right. I'm going to put points in these just to check them out. We've got Quell. 40-second cooldown. Interrupt. It's basically what that is. All right, and then here we have Cauterizing Flame, cauterize an ally's wounds, removing all bleed, poison, curse, and disease effects. Also heals when you actually remove an effect. On a 1 minute cooldown. All right, let's put some points into some other stuff to unlock some more. Tip the Scales. 2 minute cooldown, compress time to make your next empowered spell cast instantly at its maximum empower level. So right now the only empowered spell we have is Fire Breath. Okay, then we have Sleepwalk. Incapacitate an enemy for 20 seconds, causing them to sleepwalk towards you. Damage has a chance to awaken them. All right, the next one we have is Source of Magic. Redirect your excess magic to a friendly healer for 30 minutes. When you cast an empowered spell, you restore 5% of their maximum mana per empower level, limit of 1. Okay. Let's smash in some more points here. Let's see what we got. We've got Oppressing Roar. Let out a bone-shaking roar at enemies in a cone in front of you, increasing the duration of crowd control that affect them by 50% in the next 10 seconds. Okay. Fly with me. Swoop to an ally and fly with them to the target location. Renewing Blaze, 1.5 minute cooldown. The flames of life surround you for 8 seconds, healing you over 14 seconds for 100% of damage taken. And then we also have Unravel. We'll come back to this one. Can we get enough points in it? I don't think we can. We can't. So we'll look at the ones we have access to first. All right, let's take a look at all these. All right, so we've got Expunge. All right, pretty cool. We've got our Obsidian Scales. Ooh, pretty sweet effect. So that's our damage reduction. And we have Tip the Scales, so compress time, and it'll make our next empowered spell cast at 3rd level. instantly. We have Fly With Me, which I can't use because I don't have an ally, but that's okay. We have Renewing Blaze. I really like the spell effects on these. Alright, so that's going to heal us for damage taken. We've got Quell, which is going to be our interrupt. We've got Oppressing Roar. Okay. Source of Magic. Sleepwalk. Cauterizing Flame. And then we have Rescue. Okay. So not really a lot of stuff there that gives us like damage to deal. Let's go ahead and we're going to pull some points out. And we're going to go straight down and check out this side real quick. All right. So we have this one here, Zephyr. 2-minute cooldown, conjure an updraft to lift your party members within 25 yards into the air, reducing damage taken from area of effect attacks by 20% and increasing movement speed by 30% for 8 seconds. All right. Kind of like levitate. Okay. All right. Let's put points in the middle here and make sure we can get down to Time Spiral. 2-minute cooldown. Bend time, allowing you and your allies to cast their major movement ability once in the next 10 seconds, even if it's on cooldown. Okay, so we can cast Hover, Hover, Time Spiral, Hover. That's weird. The whole movement ability thing is kind of weird, but I think it'll make more sense with like leaps and things like that as opposed to these weird like utility movement skills. All right, let's pull some points out and we're going to go down the side here. So we've got Unravel. Yeah, Unravel. Sunder an enemy's protective damage magic, dealing a bunch of spell frost damage to absorb shields specifically, which means it should do nothing because they don't have a shield. So anti-shield, lots of weird like utility stuff going on here. So let's reset all that. This is our one choice here. Tail Swipe's cooldown reduced by 45 seconds, or Wing Buffet's cooldown reduced by 45 seconds. So Tail Swipe is 1.5 minutes, Wing Buffet's 1.5 minutes, so you're knock away, or you're knocking enemies into the air. Like, okay, so you can pick one of them and reduce the cooldown. Okay. So really, I mean, what would you do? I don't know. Everything in here is very like utility oriented so far. Let's read up on the passives. Disintegrate channels faster. Okay, so that's our essence ability. That's cool. Landslides cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds, which brings it down to 1 minute. And it can withstand 200% more damage before breaking. Okay. This disintegrate channels faster goes into essence regenerates 10% faster. That seems good. Your damaging blue spells reduce the target's movement speed by 50% for 3 seconds. Obsidian Scale's cooldown is reduced by 60 seconds, so that's the defensive. That would bring it down to 1.5 minutes. Living Flame deals 5% more damage and healing. I like that one because it's both damage and healing. Store 20% of your effective healing up to 7,000. Your next damaging living flame consumes all stored healing to increase its damage dealt. That seems pretty cool. So if you're doing more healing with living flame, then you can basically use this to make your next damaging living flame hit pretty hard. But if you're using living flame pretty regularly to do damage, then you probably don't want to pick that up. You can reactivate Deep Breath within 3 seconds after landing to travel back in time to your takeoff location. I'm assuming it doesn't do damage or anything like that, but that's still cool. It's kind of like Blink and Blink Back on Mage. Hover increases your movement speed by 70% for the first 4 seconds. Okay, so some movement speed. Successfully interrupting an enemy with Quell will generate 1 essence. Magic damage done is increased by 2%. Healing done and healing received are increased by 2%. So I'm getting the feeling like the right side here is healing, the left side is going to be damage, and then down the middle we're going to have utility. Stamina increased. Magic damage taken reduced. Hover lasts longer. Emerald Blossom can now heal up to 5 allies. Fire Breath's instant damage is increased by 10%. That'll be 20% with 2 points in. While above 75% health, your movement speed is increased by 10%. Healing yourself with Living Flame reduces the cast time of your next Living Flame by 40%. Wow, that's pretty nice for utility. Azure Strike damages an additional enemy, so that'll move it up to 3. Green spells restore more health. Fire Breath causes your next Living Flame to strike 1 additional target per empower level, so you could hit 4 targets. Yeah, 4 targets with Living Flame, whether you heal with it or you damage with it. A Pressing Roar removes 1 enrage effect on the enemy, and its cooldown is reduced by 20 seconds for each enrage dispelled. Hover gets an additional charge. Fly with Me protects you and your ally from harm, absorbing damage equal to 30% of your max health for 5 seconds. And then Deep Breath stuns enemies for 3 seconds. Which one was Deep Breath? I don't remember. Oh, here it is. Deep Breath. Oh, okay. Oh, that's spicy. So, I mean, based on this, it's hard to, like, say exactly what you would take, you know, going through. I saw some stuff that, you know, usually when I look at these first time, I try to figure out, like, what am I going to level with, right? I think, like, let's just go through and kind of put something together, right? Channel Disintegrate faster seems good. Having it interrupt is very good. Essence Regen seems good. Activating Deep Breath also seems pretty good. I think that getting this Living Flame thing is going to be pretty good as well. It just depends on what we want. I think we want to take Obsidian Scales like that. Right. And then from here, increase our magic damage done. Increase Fire Breath's instant damage. We can increase our stamina. Increase our movement speed. We've got 4 points left to put in. I like this one, but I don't know if I want to go all the way down to get it. We can actually go here, 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 and that gets us the Living Flame cast on ourselves. We can spam cast on ourselves, which I think is going to be good. And then from here, I don't know if the Absorb Shields is something that we're going to get a lot of use out of. I like Leaping Flames a lot, and I want to get it. I think we go here, here. And Deep Breath stuns enemies for 3 seconds. That seems like a point worth putting in. And then from here, Let's see. Renewing Blaze. That's this one here. So while this is... So this reduces the cooldown to 1 minute. And this says while it's active, you receive additional healing. That's okay. Reduce the cooldown on our damage absorption. Make hover speed us up. And then I think we would reduce, you know, tail swipe or something. I think something like that is a good just base level, you know, world questing sort of thing. Like a lot of this stuff over here is healing specific, which we naturally kind of avoid for soloing and stuff, aside from picking up, you know, passives or things that are going to have a big impact on us. But I'd probably do something like that. Which is pretty cool, because I think now we can, we could do this. And then we can hit it again when we're done. And teleport back. Hit him with the fire breath. And then that's going to make our next living flame. Hit multiple targets. Our little Azure thing hits 3 targets now. We get faster channeling on Disintegrate. Our essence recharge is faster. Let's see. Let's get rid of this stuff we don't have here. Real quick. Okay, that's our interrupt. That's our defensive. That's our little heal. And that's our instant cast fire breath thing. So, yeah, it's not a lot of abilities, but I feel like you could go out with this and you could have fun. So I think generally you probably want to open with a Disintegrate, right? To get your essence spent and start slowing the target, right? And then when we're out of that, probably going to want to pop like Fire Breath if we want to pop it into Living Flame, because then Living Flame will do AoE. The second one won't. So if we're in an AoE, we probably want to spam Azure Strike after that. All right, so what I'm thinking for AoE, like a generic scenario for AoE, obviously Fire Breath here has a 30-second cooldown. I'm sure there's ways to reduce that cooldown in the actual Devastation tree. But just on a baseline level, let's say we just pulled like 4 enemies or something. Actually, I think, you know, you gather up some enemies, right? You deep breath in their direction. You coat all of them, stun them, hop back, tip the scales into Fire Breath, right? That gets you your instant cast Living Flame to hit multiple targets, disintegrate the main target, and then start spamming your Azure Strike. I think that right there actually is a pretty solid, like, we haven't done anything with our specialization kind of rotation to mess with. That's the extreme version, right? If we don't have the cooldowns, and then in that case, you know, we're going to pick a target kind of in the back that's going to pull multiple targets, right? We'll disintegrate that one. It'll head towards us, aggro everything. We'll charge up Fire Breath. Pop that Living Flame on the target, disintegrate on the main target again, and then spam Azure Strike on everything in front of us. So single target, I don't think you use Fire Breath, right? I think you leave Fire Breath out. I think you just use Disintegrate, and then you just spam Living Flame until you can disintegrate again, and then you disintegrate, and then you spam Living Flame. So if we cast Living Flame on ourselves, then the next one does cast faster. It doesn't look exponential, which I didn't expect it to be. So yeah, we can just cast Living Flame a lot. That eats mana. Yeah, I think that is a good look. Oh, we also have Landslide, right? Which is going to root the target. That's another CC. Lots of CC in here. I think we covered everything, though. Yeah, so that's everything for the Evoker at a base level. The next videos we will look into the actual specializations themselves, and we'll come back to this talent tree and make adjustments as needed. So we've got Devastation, and we've also got Preservation up. So Damage and Healer. I'm pretty excited to check this out. I mean, just based on the stuff we can do right here, I mean, it feels pretty cool, right? I like this little combo I was talking about. It seems chunky. I really feel like just doing that combo is gonna wreck stuff. We'll have to see. And I think as we get into these talent trees, it's just gonna get even better. So my initial impressions with the base level of the class, I think it's pretty cool. This might not look like much, but if you've watched my other videos and you've seen kind of what you have available to you at a base level with the class before getting into your specialization tree, it's really not a lot. So they're all pretty similar to having like 4 or 5 abilities you can mess with for the most part. So, also, just before we go on this video, I'll show you Soar. So we have Soar, and we can tip up. And we can tip down to pick up momentum. And fly around. Still only helps us with hover. So hover, we can launch ourselves. It does drop us down to the ground. That's a pretty good movement speed, though, with those talent points we put in. That's a pretty long hover, too. Holy cow. Pretty good. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to let me know via likes and comments whether or not you're enjoying the videos I'm putting out for the alpha and would like to see more. And let me know if you want to see more videos from me once the alpha is over and we're actually here with the expansion launched. We are going to take these specializations out after we, do our videos looking at the talent trees and test them out, try them out, and see if, we want to make any changes or anything to improve them. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.